to the Social Family Podcast. I am Kenya Akins.
I am Anitra Farmer.
I am Kyria Johnson.
I am Jariah Morris.
I'm Deidre Nunn.
And today we will focus on many different topics. Our first topic that we will go into detail about is diversity. Diversity could mean many different things, and it has many different dimensions of them, including race, gender, sexual orientation, religious belief, or political beliefs. Do you guys want to give an example of diversity today?
Well, I can start. I can say within the church, I have noticed change when it comes to diversity. The church that I grew up in, there were only Black members attending church. Now, if I attend, church within Tallahassee, there is a mixed race of individuals, which I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I can relate to that too, because I remember growing up, my church was majority Blacks, but now since COVID hit, a lot of churches are shut down and many different families are coming together and joining churches, regardless of their race.
I grew up in a Black church as well, but I got introduced into like a white church, I guess. And I actually liked it. Like it was, I guess my other family was like, "No, you didn't need to stay where you were brought up to," but I actually liked it and stayed. So.
Did you feel accepted when you first went? Like, how did you feel? Like
Actually, yes. Yeah, I felt accepted as soon as I walked in. Like they were very nice and it was good. And I liked the music, everything. So.
Yeah, and I feel like in the work of social work, that's very important because each client is different. Like they have different historical backgrounds and cultural beliefs. So I feel like that's important.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, we have another topic, which is intersectionality, which ties in with diversity. It's basically like a dimension of diversity, including the age and race and gender as well.
So when we think of age and diversity, I am the oldest student here today. You guys are, could be my children. But I feel that it's a great thing that I feel comfortable within coming into a classroom setting, and I don't feel that because of my age, it was too late for me to go to school. So I don't think your age should stop you from setting and achieving your goals.
Yeah, because also physical ability could tie in with intersectionality. So that's one of them too. Like you have the physical ability to get up and come to class and learn, regardless of your age. So
yeah.
And it's not even like just age. I know disabilities as well, because a lot of students do have disabilities and still able to learn. There's like assistants that help them like with extra time they are given for like tests and stuff like that. So
Yeah. I think it's called like Cedars or something.
yeah, it's like programs stuff like that. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So the next topic would be acceptance of others. So when we think about acceptance of others, like how do y'all feel about like the Dwayne Wade situation?
I feel like it's a respect thing. He respects the way he carries himself, and that's his son, so he's gonna accept him as who he is and who he wants to go by. With social work, you have to accept people for who they are, despite how they classify themselves.
Because they have the right to be who they want to be. But as you said, as social workers, we have to be able to accept and not judge our clients.
Yeah, have self-awareness and just kind of separate yourself and them so you can
Get to the case.
Yeah, have sincere understanding of your
You
client.
can't like as soon as you like walk in,
Right.
then your client's not gonna wanna open up or feel like I'm being judged every time I do a session.
And it has something to do with your attitude too, because for an example, I know this older lady, she treats this one boy different because he's gay. Like I can tell like from the vibe she gives, it's a different perspective from a straight guy and him.
Mm-hmm. Is that in the workplace or?
No, just outside of work, like a friend of the family.
Oh, okay. I can imagine how that makes them feel. Mm-hmm.
So just an off-topic question, but not off-topic. Do you all feel like people who are highly religious in social work, they find it hard to kind of like accept when they're trying to help others?
Yeah. I feel like it's hard, but if you're gonna do that as your job, you have to kind of set it aside.
Yeah, I feel like you know what you're coming into, so you can't like, I guess, judge or not give your all just because of that.
Your personal feelings.
You already, you know.
Because as a social worker, like providing the needed services for people.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be open
Mm-hmm.
to all your clients. Cause it's different cultures out here. Some believe in things, and you know we grew up believing in other things.
And also, I don't want to say it's me, but you know, you have people that's like you or different than you, and you kind of go to the people that's like you side, then rather than the people that's different from you. But you really can't do that.
yeah, you can learn from everyone.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna be people that different from you, so you can't just be one sided.
And sometimes you learn more from people that are different from you than you really realize.
and I allow you to. I know within the workplace, we bring like a dish once a month, a covered dish, and you'll say, well, you know, I didn't grow up eating that, and then you try the dish, but because our culture didn't believe in eating that type of, preparing that type of food, and then when you taste it, you're like, okay, that's pretty good, you know, but it's just, I guess, the environment that you grew up in or whatever, and the belief that, you know, you grew up with, so
Yeah.
I think you have to be open-minded.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I'm gonna 50 years old.
I'm
I'm
not trying. I'm trying.
I go for looks. If I don't like how it
no
looks, or if it's different from
if
what
it
I'm.
smell like
Yeah.
But if someone bring a dish that doesn't look good, we not supposed to like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Say
they
it
can't say,
again,
like,
yeah.
I wouldn't say, I was like, thank you.
Just because it don't look good. Yeah,
Right.
just-
It might taste good.
That's
like,
how
it
it's
might
supposed
be
to
really
look.
good. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. You know,
Like we might say, oh, that look nasty, but that's
That's
really
how
how
it's
it's supposed to
supposed to
look. Because that's how the dish is made.
because I know, like, I have a mentor and she's Haitian. And, like, she bought me some dish. And I said, that.
They got the worst looking food.
I said, oh, she got some fish tray.
They be having fish heads.
That's what I'm saying. Was fish. I said, oh, okay.
See, I think, like, honestly, with me, I think that's the part I struggle with because my face was there before I said it.
Yeah.
So I was like, that sounds so good. And like, see, I tried sushi for the first time. And it was like, I did not like it. I did not like it.
I do.
And I was like, I didn't want to say anything, but it's like, she saw my face before I could like play it off and smile. And I was like,
Did you try like the fried or was it raw?
it was raw.
So you
And
got
she had like
Right.
she had the green things that you roll it up.
Seaweed.
yeah.
It was a lot. It was a lot. I was like, oh, I not always wanted to try sushi. I was like,
But back on Dwayne's topic with his son, like, how do y'all think that made him feel in the beginning, and he had to digest that and love his son and then accept it at the same time? Like,
I'm not gonna lie. At first, I thought it was like, oh, he getting paid for this. Like he gotta pretend like he's gonna accept his son. Like he's a star basketball player. He don't want that to be on him. Like that's the image of him as well. So I was like, he don't really accept him like that. But as I follow like them on the media and stuff, I can see that he really accepts his son for who he is. And
Was
he's
it-
very open with it.
was it true that he accepted his son before the mother? Because I remember reading something.
I think
The
that was
mother,
wrong.
yeah, the mother didn't. Wait, the kid mother or his mother?
His
The kid-
the kid.
The kid mother, I don't think she agrees with what he's doing or how he carrying himself, but the dad is accepting to it. So
I would just like I would use like my personal experience because my sister is lesbian, and so like I grew up in like a very religious household. So the difference is, and my mom is like very religious. But the thing about it is just like how she puts it is like I don't love you any less. It's just I don't accept that. That doesn't mean I don't love you. It's just like I use an example. If like if people say it's different, but if your child goes out and murders somebody, you don't accept the act, but doesn't mean you love your child any less. I still love you, but I just don't approve of that. But in a sense, you don't need my approval, you know. But that's just like how.
Yeah, it's just all weird to me because like back in the days, it wasn't no accepting this or that. Like you had to be like what you're going to be like. Oh, you a male, you're gonna stay a male. You're not gonna turn this and that. That's basically saying like, oh, well, I think I'm a woman, so I'm gonna be a woman. But if you say, well, I think I'm a zebra, people gonna look at you crazy. Like, okay, well, you need mental help. But nowadays, you can claim like, oh, I'm a woman.
I saw a video on that. It was on a Dr. Phil show. The man was like, I guess when people they have like the his or hers, and he was talking about how like you can't come up with your own like how did that
Logic.
Yeah, how do you explain it? It was like I may think I'm handsome. That doesn't mean you think I'm handsome. That doesn't mean I have to accept it. And how he was talking, how he was just saying like I may think like oh, I'm a zebra. No, you're not. It's like no, you're not.
Like, you gonna want me to go get mental help if I say I'm a zebra, but if I say I'm a girl and I want to be a girl, y'all say okay, well, like openly. So it's just all kind of.
I think it was hidden back then. It exists, but it was hidden, and it wasn't as open, you know, and accepted as it is today.
I also agree, especially like in my family, like they don't play that. I'm not even gonna lie, like my little cousins, like I remember he picked up a dog and like he got whooped so bad. I'm like, well dang, y'all even do just passing it to his sister or something like that. Like he just like that's how we were raised. But everybody but then they go around, they confuse me, I'm not gonna lie. But then they're like, you gotta step. But then I don't know.
I feel like this also ties in with like human rights. You have the right to be who you want to be as a human, regardless of anything. Like it's just human rights. You have that right.
Yep. And if you choose to live that life, or you know, it's okay. It's part about being accepted. Being accepted, and as you say, it's a social work. You got to know how to handle all types of situations and individuals.
You have to advocate for those people that you know our grandmas and stuff. They don't like us, or they don't like our new generation to be this way. So, as a social worker, you do have to advocate for those people that's going through mental breakdowns from other people outside of their families and stuff.
Prejudice.
Have you guys like experienced like a situation where you felt like someone was being prejudiced against you?
I feel like it still exists.
Yeah, I have. For example, I went to, I don't know if y'all been, it's called Blueberry Ice Cream or something like that. It's like a frozen yogurt place. So I went there, right? So I was like, me and my friend went there, and we're the only black people in there so far. So we went in there, we tried, like, we never been. So we were just looking around, trying ice cream. And then one of the workers, she was a white, older lady. We were trying to get like a flavor, but we were just looking around. We didn't like grab the flavor yet. And it was another white lady, like all the way on the other side. She told me, can you guys move? She's trying to get ice cream. Now the lady's all the way on the other side. I was like, she could have said, excuse me. Like you didn't have to speak up for her if she wanted to. She told me, well, I just don't like that you guys standing there. I said, oh.
And that's another thing, like, I feel like they think they're privileged.
Yes.
To say and do those things.
I have a question though. Like this is for real. What is prejudice? Because I feel like people get racist and prejudice mixed up. Like what really is prejudice? No, like no for customer.
It's like I try to look up.
It's like an unjustified. Yeah. It's an unjustified attitude towards a person.
Yeah.
Like no evidence.
Like
just how you feel. Like it's based off your feelings. Oh, I feel like such and such did. I don't like her because she got a headband on and stuff like that. Like you're being prejudiced towards the person, but you have.
But we wear natural hair.
Yeah.
So do y'all feel like only white people can be prejudiced?
No, I feel like she's prejudiced.
And like some people say like, oh, black people can't be racist, but they can be prejudiced.
I feel like that's just the most commonly known ways to define. Well, not define prejudice, but that's what most people think. Like, oh, white people are the most prejudiced because black people can't be prejudiced. But I feel like they can.
And they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Because I have some white friends that's really like more into my culture than some of the black people is. So I don't feel like it's just white people.
I'm gonna be honest, my mom, I have to calm her down sometimes because, of course, she wasn't in slavery or anything, but her great grandmother and things of that nature. So from time to time, she'll say, "Oh, she didn't want me to come to her register because I'm black." I'm like, "Mom, you got to stop saying that." But this just embedded in their mind.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
the first
she's
thing.
72, so she's always thinking, you know, because of her skin tone, that
That's
she's
my
treated different.
That's my grandma with everything.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie though, that's just based off experience.
Yeah.
Because I went to Cracker Barrel one weekend and
Oh,
I was
yes.
like, man,
Yes.
I feel so out of place here. Like,
Yes.
they don't want me in here
The
because I'm
names.
black. Like,
Yeah.
I just be talking
Yes.
loud.
Yes.
They
I
talking
take it
loud
out
stuff.
every
They
time.
want to serve us.
Yeah.
They walking slow.
Just a
Yeah.
picture. See, that's the pictures for me.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't really
No.
ride with this.
I feel like what you was saying, like my granddad, like he from Mississippi.
Mm.
So like it's him, like I'm not gonna lie, like he sometimes you have to catch him because he will refer to a white person in a racial slur and it'll be like, and then when I have to look at it, it's like where he from, and it's like you're born and raised in Mississippi, so that's what like y'all still have sundown towns. Over there.
Yeah.
And it was like amazing to me when he was like would talk about his family and what they used to go through, and it was like, wow. Even though we live in, is Florida considered the South? You know, like how they Alabama, Mississippi, Texas. Like is Florida considered that in there?
I don't think so.
So, yeah,
That's what Texas like North Florida.
Yeah.
But that like
Down south, but that's not really the. You think the race.
That's what I always thought. Like, do they consider Florida a part of like the dirty South? Like how like Alabama, you know what's going on. Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. Then you would know like okay, but is Florida really? I don't know.
That's a great question.
I always thought that. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like the. I always used to be when people talk about it. Florida in there too. Like, don't forget us, Florida people. We probably had slaves. Like, you know, be a part of it. But when you really think about it, when they talk about history, Florida really isn't a part of. I haven't seen me when they talk about like the slaves. And
Well,
stuff
I know
that.
like in St. Augustine and stuff like that, they do have like historic
Yeah,
towns and stuff
they
that
do.
where all that
That's
happened,
different.
kind of like Alabama area. So
it depends on what city in Florida, because Quincy and
Havana,
Havana and
yeah.
things of that nature, there's a lot of historical racism and never been to Quincy.
Me either.
That's fine.
Yeah, 'cause we
Listen, if I
Listen,
got
I don't even
my way, I'm not
if
going
you
no
ride
way.
through Quincy and Havana, they still have like those houses, like those little white houses that looks like the plantation houses. They
And
still have
everybody,
those.
when you enter in Quincy, like,
Yeah, I gotta ride. Yeah, I gotta ride.
so what about privilege?
What you
Yeah.
think?
What you
I ain't gonna lie, privilege like everybody feel like they're privileged to something or somebody. Like
Yeah.
I ain't gonna put no race to that, but I've been feeling like when it comes to certain people that I hang around, I feel like I'm privileged. Not in, I don't want to say in a bad way, but I feel like I have this right, you know. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I just feel like when I'm around certain people that I'm
Yeah.
privileged. Like
I ain't gonna
I
lie.
expect certain things. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I guess what with me, like, but you, it might be bad though because like, this might show my face, but I say it. So like, I just feel like in the sense of when me and my friends hang around each other, they look at it as because my family they're darker, so they will look at me as like, oh well, when we go out, you're gonna get the most attention, you're gonna so and so.
Oh, that's like good.
And I would look at, and like, little do they know, I'm looking at them like, girl, you got like flawless skin. Like, do you see like the acne on my face? Like, you got the melatonin, you got the melanin going on. I'm sitting here like, no, I feel like in our culture, they differentiate between like, no, what's the paper bag test? Back in the day when they say like, the lighter you are, you're in the house of darker, you are, you're closer to freedom. I remember my mom made a judgment. She made a joke about that. She was like, girl, we was in slavery days. I would be closer to freedom than you was. okay, since I'm in air conditioning, what? I'm sorry, but I just feel like in our culture, that's something like separates us already than what we already have, and
Yeah,
What about beauty privilege? That's deep.
Now that's a big one.
I heard of that.
I never heard of beauty privilege either, but
But I
just by
believe it.
hearing it, I feel like it has something to do with your enhancement. Yeah, your like
Like I can say like, for example, so I cheered in high school. So I could say we had trials, whatever. And this was another girl. She was light skinned, pretty, curly hair, just a light skinned, pretty. So she did not know nothing about cheer. Like she just transferred. She didn't know anything. Like she couldn't even chill. I'm not. She just couldn't do anything. Yeah, I'm just being honest. She just couldn't cheer. Like, and I promise, like she made the team. And over a girl that was like more experienced, did competition, like cheered all her life. And it was like, like that's just crazy to me. So I definitely tell that I was beauty privilege. And that we all asked her, she was like, I already know I made it because I'm pretty. I can do it. I said, oh. So like I could tell, and there's some that's really popular, like they just know like, oh, I'm pretty, so I can do this, so I'm pretty, I can. Like, I gotta work hard, I gotta do anything. My face card is just that like, so really.
But what about some artists that you feel they could sing okay, but
Beyonce.
I'm so glad somebody
Because I feel like, let's be real, Fantasia can out-sing.
yes.
If y'all know who Kiki White is,
Yes.
can out-sing her like vocal line, can hold the tone, and it's like we have no comfort, girl now. Y'all know how y'all get.
I feel like her skin, her
Right.
beauty, and all that.
That's what it is.
And
Yeah,
then
she's
my
getting
girl-
overhyped.
Yeah, like I feel like Kelly could sing.
Yeah.
So I just feel like she's one like. Anybody else?
Also, did y'all see that video? I don't know if y'all saw it, but are y'all familiar with like Kodak Black?
Yeah.
Okay, it was a video going around on social media where he was at the strip club throwing money, like on all the light skinned girls, and then as soon as the dark skinned girl came on the phone, he stopped throwing the money.
I did not see
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
Kodak is so ugly.
That's
trying to play like
That's what. And it
I was like,
always
wow.
skin, I promise.
Colorism do exist.
Color,
Like,
yes.
That's
Chris
Especially
Brown.
in videos and it's light skin girls.
I
you
promise.
see
And
some
that's what I
dark
had to
skin
grow up with. Like, I honestly, like growing up, I was like, I want to be light, I want to be light. I was like,
Really?
And that's so crazy. Because
I wanted to be dark.
Yeah, I was like, I want a dark skin child.
Yeah.
I don't want a light
It
skin
always be the
child.
opposite, but I feel like it's just because it's been like in my mind, constantly told and constantly.
It is overhyped. It's nothing. It's
Yeah.
overhyped.
So my daughter is dark skinned and she's beautiful. Hands down, she's beautiful. But growing up, she's a cheerleader and all those things. But I think she struggled with some of her friends. They were lighter than her. And I always encourage her and say, you are beautiful. Your personality, you're smart. I mean, but society they can judge you off of
social
TV.
media.
Social media,
Yeah.
it really is
Yeah.
social media. I just had to go learn period.
But I remember growing up, like my mom, like I'm light skinned, but as I was growing up as a little girl, my mom would never buy me like light dolls or like white dolls. She would always buy me like brown skin dolls because she was saying like nobody likes brown dolls. She wants people to like start like loving the brown skin and stuff like that. So I always love brown skin, and I always say I want a dark skin child.
Yeah, me too.
I want a chocolate
I wouldn't
child.
even date anyone that's my color. I would not. I always say like it was people like, what color you are? I'm caring.
Yeah.
Was it you red? No, I don't care about it. If you yellow and red, please stop it. I'm caring about it. Because I just feel like being light skinned is like it's over.
Like, it's so much
Yeah.
like
It's not
I
all
see on
like.
TikTok a lot too. Like, I don't know if y'all have TikTok.
I do.
I promise. You go down like the light skin. That's why you see hashtag light skin. I look at like.
What about some of those TikTok people like enhancing their bodies to look dark? Like they really like.
Like the Kardashians, like they try to make themselves look dark. Like they're like in real life, people want their skin color where they want, our skin color and stuff. So
We have full lips. They want full. They pay for full lips. And
yeah.
I'm like, I was just want something to do with
Because they turn out their body look. So I got
okay.
We talk about
No, we didn't discuss that.
Let's talk about it.
Well,
I was gonna say this, it ain't fair.
Yeah.
It ain't fair, it ain't right.
And
Cause I know some women out there that can get under a car and change
Right.
and fix up some things as fast as the man, but the men have that privilege to do it first because they're male.
and I think in class, one of our male students, he gave an example of if we go to a dealership for service, and if he goes, of course, they're gonna tell us all of this stuff that
Yeah.
we fix,
Yeah,
but with him,
that's
yeah,
exactly.
he got a good example.
I experienced that. I called my daddy on the phone.
I called my dad as soon as I said, no, hold on, speak to that. Go ahead and talk to him because
No.
y'all not gonna get me.
But they was telling me like, oh no, you need this now. You need it
Yes.
now. You can totally get it done today. But as soon as I called my dad,
Yes.
they was like, oh well, you can wait and this and that. I'm like,
Yes.
you just told me I need it now.
That's
Like,
Yeah.
Number one, are they trained that way? Like when they go through
I just feel like society makes feel like when females are just like
Go to
clueless.
work 10 times.
And so I'm just like when it comes to partying, girls will
I'm
go.
definitely not
Yeah,
educated.
But like I just feel like they generalize that like, oh, they're going everywhere.
Yeah.
So we can get over them easily. And it's like it goes to like some in a way like some females don't speak up, so it's like okay,
Yeah.
they don't speak up, we can just keep going.
Yeah.
Or they don't have like a father to call or a male figure to ask about a question. So they're like, okay, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, but one thing about me, if I don't know something,
I'm
I'm
talking about
gonna
that.
call me a friend, my
That's
dad,
what I'm
my
saying.
uncle,
I'm
my
gonna call
really somebody.
somebody. Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna just
you
let
can
you
go
get
get
over. I remember. I'm sorry. I remember I went to actually, I think it's Tire Kingdom, and he said, "Oh, it's $100 for your windshield wipers." I said, "For windshield wipers?" I said, "Oh, okay." Like, I call when they talk to my friend, go to Tire Place, they go to the insurance. Like, they know, they know.
And in the workplace, you know, they're paid way more than us, and we do the same, equal amount of work. And they say, you know, there's a clause that says we are equal, but
Maybe more.
I honestly think we do more work than men.
Yeah, like I would say with my job, like there's a guy there, he gets paid $50,000 a year. I get paid $30,000.
just do the same work.
I do more than him. I do like HR stuff. I do like case stuff. I do more than him, and it's like when you look, and it's because it's like, how is that even fair? How is that even fair?
Well, I can say this. I know this guy has a degree in math, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great, but he's our IT tech. And because he's friends with the supervisor or the director over there, he's an IT tech now, and he's making, I think, like 91. Yep. So, but if a female would come in,
Gotta
They
jump
probably
in.
they probably won't even get the IT job.
Yeah,
Like,
gotta go through loops, holes, just like it's not fair. It's
they don't want.
she'll get a certificate. She'll get
yeah.
In reality, they don't want women to know more than men, so they feel like, oh, men are better than to do this than women are. But
Well, you know, back in the day, women used to be home. They fed the family, they took care of the house. Now we have evolved and we're doing everything, you know, so it's just a little culture. Hopefully it would catch up, you know, and everything is equal within the workforce.
Have y'all seen the movie Hidden Figures?
Yes.
Y'all say that you never.
You watch it.
But everybody privilege of.
What is it about? Isn't that with Prodigy?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get to it.
Really?
I looked at it and I was
It
like,
was good.
You need to watch it.
It's
I
good.
said turn it on. It's too much. It's too much going on. It's too. I
It's good.
I didn't watch it.
It
It's
definitely,
really good.
it definitely shows.
I can watch that twice.
That's what I'm saying. It definitely shows.
What about you thinking this? I watched that.
Okay,
Never
now
heard
it
it.
is.
No.
What is it about?
I know you're supposed to know about that man. Well, he was the first to like separate the twins that was connected together.
I'm surprised.
That's
I
on
heard it. It's not good.
Yeah, but then
Oh, you got a.
Okay.
I say I watched it, but I'm behind the first 48, so it's gonna be.
like even with that movie, like they didn't want him to do the surgery because he was black and he could do the surgery better than the white guy because
Did we talk about heterosexual privilege?
No.
No.
Anybody want to elaborate?
I want y'all. I'm not that educated on
Yeah, I'm not.
this part, so
I guess okay.
I don't really know an example like of
Okay,
privilege.
I guess when you think of hetero, I'm gonna just stab at it. I guess like how easy it is for a man and a female to get married, how and people of the same sex is not as easy.
Oh, like adoption.
Yes.
Because okay,
I believe that is. That's my opinion. I don't know if you're wrong.
I think that's
I understand that.
So,
Like a woman and a man can go adopt a child easier than a man and a man because they feel like it's not fit. So
yeah.
That's
okay.
That's great.
Okay.
So how do y'all feel about that?
I think you qualify.
Honestly, I don't know how. I mean, I feel like if it don't affect the child in a household, then. But we would never know. Like we just want to know how a child will grow up in a household with two of the same sex rather than the opposite sex. Like would it affect them in school or?
Because middle school kids are.
I'm saying the only thing,
But-
like in school, they'll just probably ask like, you got two mommies, you got two daddies, like stuff like that. I feel like will constantly be questioned,
But I feel if there's standards, there's guidelines to adoption, if they pass the standards and the guidelines, then I don't think they should, go through any harder like, what word is that?
But do the same sex have the same marriage rights like as the opposite?
Yeah, I think they passed the bill for
I
It depends on what state, I think, right?
Yeah, because I don't want to assume. I would just feel like probably like states like Texas, Alabama. They probably I feel like they will look at it because of how like their culture is, or like how they are. Those states will be different than states like Washington or like that's up there.
Yeah, I just don't know how to feel about that topic.
Well, that brings in human rights, so
yeah.
that's,
Human rights. Do we really have human rights?
To a certain extent, I feel like to a certain extent.
yeah.
And that has a lot to do with privilege, so.
Yeah.
How
you
they
are.
can-
Yeah.
how you are. Yeah.
Because some of these situations that occurred in the news lately, within the last year or two, I feel that it wouldn't have took place if it was a different race. And I know we're not talking about race, but everyone should have human rights, and you're not guilty until you're proven, so.
Yeah.
But Trayvon Martin, they assume, and so. But I don't know.
Do y'all feel like, let's say someone like Beyonce went through it, would it be looked at as different? Like we're not talking about race though, but like let's say she went through something like, do you feel like because she's who she is, like the world would just automatically be like, well, whoever that person that did it to her is wrong?
Honestly, do you remember that man off of is it Power or?
No,
Is it Power or
You
is
took
it
Empire.
Empire? But I feel like
but he ain't a Beyonce.
I know, but he
still
lied.
like a
Or what about Will Smith and the slap?
Listen, I didn't really see the slap, but Jada done mocked him.
Yeah,
But no, did she apologize on behalf of him?
No. She's
No.
basically mocking him and making fun of him.
yeah,
And then she said that he shouldn't have did it.
Yeah, she basically said he should.
For real?
Yeah.
She didn't.
So human rights. So if that was an average guy,
I feel like regardless of what comes out your mouth, you still don't have the right to put your hand on something, regardless of what they say. Because just because he feels this way doesn't mean it's true. So sometimes you have to ignore things and don't feel like you have that right to.
But do you think like if she would not have said nothing,
That's
not
how I
did
feel
nothing,
like-
she
that's
would have been
what I
at
feel
home
like
like,
he-
Well, that's on
That's
them.
what I'm saying.
That's on them to discuss like outside of
Yeah.
like the video and all this. You know what I mean?
but if that was a Tim, security wouldn't even.
They would have let him even got close.
Yeah,
He
so-
would have.
Yeah.
Or what about someone Solange beat up Jay-Z and Beyonce was right there? Everybody was go ahead, Solange, go ahead. Was it like she didn't go to jail?
I feel like that's wrong too. So I
Yeah, keep your hands to
Yeah.
yourself.
because if he would have hit her, then it
No,
would have been
so he
so
ain't see, he probably don't know. He probably
I think that's the last one. What's the
gay, bisexual, trans. That's all I know.
For me, I just feel like everyone should be treated fairly in whatever walk in life you choose to do. That's on you, and it's hard for people to accept things of that nature, but of course that comes from your cultural and things, you know, that you've seen and your upbringing.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got a question. So, okay, do you feel like, I'm trying to word this right. Okay, do you feel like they should have like, I guess like a limit? Okay, so you know how be some males that like will dress like females, but like some be just doing the most, like just, I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like, how do y'all feel about that?
Because that's just their
That's how they
personality.
express
Maybe
themselves.
they're flamboyant and just go all out.
But what about the swimmer who's a man? And
Now
he's-
that I don't
and
like
he's
that.
now swimming in the female race
Yeah.
and he done beat everybody.
I feel
I don't
like
think
that.
that's fair.
I don't think that's fair.
Because you can classify as who you want to be, but like racing, like competing against physical women, like I don't think
Yeah,
that's
I
fair.
don't think
So what about a female who transitions to a man and she races against men but she loses?
I still feel like they should keep the gender. I don't
Yeah,
really
or have their own
know.
category.
I don't really know.
But then they gonna feel like
They're
trying to put them in
separated.
separate,
Yeah.
trying to put them in a
So they want to
category.
classify as, or they want to be a woman, but you're separating them to be whatever they are. So
That's still not fair because they have
Bathroom,
certain traits
They
that
have backwards that
I-
they say if you I forgot what is it? I know some schools do it that
the unisex.
Yeah.
no like some if you I think if you're something about a female you can go into a female bathroom with other I don't want to say real females but like a man that transitions into a woman you can go into a woman's bathroom.
Yeah.
I
I feel like if I don't know, then if you like
Yeah.
a female, then I don't care. But if it's like a man, like since I don't know,
like what if it's a man
like,
transitioning and having like
yeah,
full change?
I
Yeah,
feel like
it's
that's
scary.
what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
kind of would scare you. Like I wouldn't like. Oh no, I ain't gonna come in here because I'm
Like,
not
you
gonna
feel
fall that.
comfortable, like,
I'm gonna
yeah.
feel a little uncomfortable. But
If
that's
I
just
don't
me.
know,
That's what
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If I don't know,
but we also have like personally, I know someone that's a transgender. But we grew up knowing him as a guy, but now she's a she, but she really doesn't focus on you saying he or she. Like sometimes people say, "Oh, him." Sometimes people say her. So that's kind of confusing to me too. Because if you're a trans, which one do you want to be classified?
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes I call him his real name. Sometimes I call him his female name. So
Have y'all noticed on the applications that they're
Yeah.
other?
Yeah.
so what's other like? What's
I guess if you I like one of them they don't have a gender. They don't see themselves as a female male or female.
You're just a human.
Yeah. So they don't classify themselves as a gender. I think that would
So what about like dating? Do they date both kind or
I
all
know.
kind?
I've seen it where they don't look at it as male or female. They just without love.
So as future social workers, if you had a client that was a trans and you noticed like it was obvious, like how would you handle that? Like the first meet.
Well, I feel like you should ask them
yeah.
what would they like to be called, what would they like to go by, and just respect them and how they feel about themselves because
You don't want to
trigger them.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't like to be called their real name because
Yeah.
maybe they were raped by James and they want to be Jemiah or something. Like they don't want to be called James because that brings trauma. So yeah. So I feel like it's respecting, regardless if you agree with it or not, just respect that person.
Because our goal is to provide a service.
Equally to all genders, races, and whatever else. If that's why that is.
Any last?
I think we have touched all topics for tonight's podcast. Do you have anything else?
Great conversation.
Yeah. Great terms.
Okay, well, nice talking to you guys. Gonna head out.